Hello, I'm Trey and welcome to a card demonstration tutorial video. In this video I'm trying to get some ideas of how to use male themed cutting dies, what I would normally use on a male themed card, for a female themed card. And so this is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I hope anybody that watches this gets some ideas and tips as well. And as always, after you've watched this video, please do leave comments, and maybe you've got other ideas that I could also find useful on using these kind of dies. Now these are the dies I'm going to be using. This is the male die, themed die I'm going to be using. It's a combination of clocks and a little bit what I would call like metal work, and I want to use these for a female themed card. So I decided to combine it with some flowers. This is the flower set, and foliage, and a nice cute little bird, which I thought might look nice, and of course one of my layering dies. Now these are the materials I'm going to be using. I'm going to be working on a 5x7 card. This is the backing paper I'm going to be using. Nice, it's actually feels like velvet. It's got like a texture to this card. Yellow and like a multi-coloured lilac-y pink card, and green. So I'm going to be I've placed my cutting dies on the cards that I want to cut out those shapes in before I put them all together. I'll cut out all the pieces, and I've stuck the backing paper onto the base card. So now I want to start putting things together. First thing I'm going to do is put this layer onto the base card, because that's an easier bit. Just using tacky glue. And flowers are going to be going on that side, so I'll be off centre near the bottom. Put that to one side to stick down. So now I want to add a little bit of interest to these elements that I've cut out. I put blue gems on the middle of the flowers, so they're a little bit of bling on there. Now I'm using some Sakura glitter pens. I'm just going to colour in certain sections just to add a little bit of interest. Now the cutting dies I use tend to be generic, not a specific brand, sorry. So you might find them on Amazon, but anything that's similar to these would work just as well. This is just an idea of how you could combine certain kinds of cutting die shapes. And maybe you've got some of these cutting dies that you bought a long time ago and not used them for ages. So it's nice to get back to things that you haven't used for a long time. I get distracted by new things quite often, I feel. So I'm just not really adding much more onto that. I just wanted a little bit of glitter on there. Now I'm going to put a little bit onto this bird, just to highlight certain sections. And a little bit of a green glitter pen. Again, Sakura. Just lightly adding a little bit of interest on the elements of the cutting die. Now this is just personal choice. I kind of like to do things like this. Otherwise I tend to forget to use. my glitter pens and my, sometimes I do it with ink pads, and I also have some paints and I just forget to use them, so I try to get them out and have a little play. That's one leaf done. Just had a little bit of interest. Now I did the other leaf and I did a bit of glitter pen on those, and it doesn't show very well on the camera, but it does in the light. It's really nice and sparkly. So now I've got all my bits decorated. I'm going to go back to my main card, start putting them together. Right, so I'm going to have a little see how these are going to work on this card. Now I'm going to cover some of this with a warm flower and some foliage. So these little bits of foliage are going to cover that side of the clock, and the flower on there I was thinking, which should look quite nice. So I'll do that first. So I'm quite happy with how I want those to look. I tend to do that, I tend to layer it out before I do anything else. Now this, some of these sections are quite slim, so I'm going to have to use silicone glue. So I always tend to keep a piece of plastic when I do my silicone glue applying, because it goes everywhere. And I also use a cocktail stick, because I'm just putting little bits of glue on the thickest part of the design if I can. I mean, it's very rarely I can't ever get away with not seeing the glue, but because it's clear, dries clear, you don't really notice it when the card's finished. Right, so that's that bit. I'm now going to place it on here. Just gently tap down so that the silicone is connected to the bottom layer underneath this cog section. Right, so I'll put that to one side, and I'll do the same again with these leaves. I'm going to put some silicone glue on the back of these leaves. I always need a wet wipe as well when I'm doing something like this, because I tend to end up with silicone glue all over my hands. Quite a messy job is putting silicone glue on, but to give it a little bit of height as well, it's quite good, because it dries with that little bit of height. Right, here we go. Right, so that's those sections down now. Now it's up to you, you can leave it to dry in between. But obviously we're doing this on camera, I'm not going to do that. I'm now going to put on the rest of the elements. So the flower is going to be at the bottom of there. At least one of the flowers are. Right, so that's one flower on and some foliage. And it's starting to already look quite feminine, I think. So I'm pleased I've had a go at this. I've got some more of cob kind of dies and clocks, so I've got to feel I can use a few of them now. Now I've got the rest of my sections. So I've got this little bird, and I've got an idea where I'm going to put that. I think I'm going to put that on top of the clock, the top clock. I put foam pads on the backs of the other sections, so again I'll have a little bit of height. I do like dimension on my cards. So that's the bird. And now I'm going to add on the other flowers. Now I decided to cut an extra layer for the other flowers and add a bit of yellow in to pick up the yellow in the clock. And that's going to be a bottom layer. So use different sizes so you can see it underneath. Yeah, I kind of like that. And another one further down, just moving across. And use foam pads again on all of these. I like to give a bit of height. Right, and that's those on. Now I've left this section empty because I'm going to put a sentiment on there, but I left it off for now because I thought that maybe, you know, it's up to individuals what kind of sentiment they want on that, but I know this is going to be a birthday card. So that's this demonstration finished, and see if I can give you an idea of the dimension there. So yeah, it's quite interesting that with the different heights. I do like that. And I also feel I've achieved what I wanted to do, and that was to use a male-themed cut and die, combining it with female-themed cut and dies to make a card for a female friend. So I hope you found this interesting and have watched it. Like I said, please do leave some comments. Come and chat with me on my Facebook page. I'll leave a link in the description. So bye for now, and I'll see you again in the near future with another video.